arrogance, deception, and the broken covenant. Taf-seir of Surah Al-Baqarah, Part 8. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Sufi Essence. In our last session, we concluded the story of the cow and the terrifying spiritual state of a hardened heart. We saw how a refusal to obey Allah and a love for argumentation led to a profound spiritual sickness, leaving the heart more unyielding than stone. Today we will continue this deep, critical analysis of the spiritual state of the children of Israel as the Qur'an turns its attention to their scholars and the people. We will explore the themes of intellectual arrogance, the corruption of divine revelation, and the self-deception of those who believe they have a monopoly on divine grace. The Qur'an first addresses the believers, questioning their misplaced hope for the conversion of these people. Afatetma, Aina, and Yumin Lakum Waked, Kana, Farkan, Mina, Yazma, Ina Kalema, Alhithama, Ugarifna, Uminba, DMD. Akalawa, Hum Yalamun, Wa, Idan Lak Aladna, Jamanu Kul. Maman Wa, Idan Kalaba, Hum Ilchba, Yin Kul, Atua, Yin Kul, Atua, Tua, Wachiwa, Lakum, Liuch Chukum. Bihi Inda Rabbikum, Afalel, Takil. Do you believers long that they would believe in you while a party of them used to hear the words of Allah and then distort it after they had understood it while they were knowingly? And when they meet those who believe, they say, "We have believed." But when they are alone with one another, they say, "Do you tell them of what Allah has revealed to you?" So they will argue with you about it before your Lord. Then will you not reason? This is a powerful and sobering critique of intellectual arrogance. The verses are directed at the scholars among the children of Israel who were not ignorant, but had a profound ilm of the divine revelation. They heard and understood the word of Allah, and yet they deliberately distorted it to suit their desires. This is a far greater sin than simple ignorance. It is a spiritual betrayal of the highest order to possess divine knowledge and use it for worldly gain or to mislead people. The second verse beautifully exposes their hypocrisy. In public, they feign belief, but in private they warn each other against sharing the truth that might be used as an argument against them by the Muslims on the Day of Judgment. This demonstrates a deep-seated spiritual sickness. They possessed knowledge of Allah's truth, but were more concerned with protecting their own worldly status than with sharing it. The Qur'an then addresses a different group among them, the unlettered. Ayalamna, Anna, Alha, Yalamu, MD, Usurna, Wa, MD, Yulin, Wa Minom, Omkaina, Elya, Lamna, Alkitba. Ilamnia Wa, in whom, Il Yanun, Fawalan Laladna, Yakidbuna, Alkidba, Bayidrim, Thoma, Yakidra, Hadub, Min Indi, Alhi, Liashtar, Bihi Thamunan, Kalklin, Fawalan Laham Mim Kitabit, Idrim Wawalan Laham Mim Yaksaban. Do they not know that Allah knows what they conceal and what they declare? And among them are unlettered ones who do not know the scripture except for recited wishful thinking, and they are not but assuming. So woe to those who write the scripture with their own hands, then say, "This is from Allah," in order to exchange it for a small price. Woe to them for what their hands have written, and woe to them for what they earn. This is a three-pronged attack on spiritual dishonesty. First, it reminds us that Allah knows what is in the heart and what is on the tongue. Second, it describes the state of the common person who has no deep ilm of the scripture, but follows it based on wishful thinking or blind assumption. Third, and most powerfully, it condemns the scribes and scholars who actively forge scripture for personal gain. This is the ultimate spiritual corruption. They are willing to sell the eternal truth of Allah for a small price, a temporary worldly benefit. The double woe in the verse, Fa Walan Laham Mim Katabat Adream Wa Walan Laham Mim Yaksaban, is a powerful indictment of their intellectual betrayal and their ill-gotten gains. Next, the Qur'an addresses a profound self-deception that permeated their community. The false belief in a limited, exclusive salvation. Wakulan Tamasan, Onru, Il, Ayamin, Ma, Dedatan, Kala Itika, Tum. Inda, Ohia Dan Falan, Uklifa, Ohu, Adahu, Am Tackled, Na, Alb, Alhi MDL, Ta'al Lamna, Balb man kasaba, sayatanwa. A. Kajat, bihi kakatu, foloika, akbubu, ankri, hum fob, kadin, wa, aladna, manu, wa. Amaler alglikti, eloika, akdabubu aljanati, hum fob kedin. And they say, never will the fire touch us, except for a few days. Say, have you taken a covenant with Allah? For Allah will never break his covenant. Or do you say about Allah that which you do not know? As whoever earns evil and his sin has encompassed him, those are the companions of the fire. They will abide therein eternally. But those who have believed and done righteous deeds, those are the companions of paradise. They will abide therein eternally. This delusion of an exclusive, limited salvation is a form of spiritual escapism. They believe that by virtue of their lineage, they were saved from eternal punishment. This is a profound warning against spiritual complacency. The Qur'an demolishes this false hope with a simple but universal truth. Salvation is not based on lineage, name, or claim. It is based on belief and righteous deeds. The verse, Man kasaba, sayatanwa, akfakat, bihi kakatu. Whoever earns evil and his sin has encompassed him, is a beautiful spiritual metaphor. The sin is not just an act. It is a state of being that surrounds and envelops the person, making it impossible for light to penetrate. The Qur'an's message is a universal declaration of divine justice, where the criterion for salvation is always faith and good works. Finally, the Qur'an returns to the beginning of the covenant that the children of Israel repeatedly violated, a stark contrast to their actions. Wa-idh, Akadin miksa bank isalala, elta buderna il alha. Wabil dalai dniak snan wal dahuk. Al kurb wal al yadam, wal maskani wal kul. Lial niasai waznan wal akamer al kalada. Akola nia, wa ikoda, al kada, wakaladam, il kalklan, minkam, wa, and tamu. Rian. And remember, when we took the covenant from the children of Israel, saying, do not worship except Allah, to parents, do good, and to relatives, orphans, and the needy. And speak to people good words, and establish prayer, and give zakah. Then you turned away, except for a few of you, and you were refusing. This verse, which summarizes the covenant, is a profound and beautiful spiritual code of conduct. It is a 5-point covenant that establishes the core of Islamic faith and practice. First, Tawheed, the worship of Allah alone. Second, the fundamental duties to humanity, beginning with kindness to parents, then to relatives, orphans, and the needy. Third, a universal command to speak good words to all people. Fourth and fifth, the twin pillars of personal worship, salt, and social responsibility, zakat. This covenant is a perfect blueprint for a spiritually upright and socially just life. The tragedy is that despite this beautiful and clear covenant, a majority of them turned away. This is the ultimate indictment. My dear viewers, these verses are a powerful lesson in spiritual honesty. They warn us against the dangers of intellectual arrogance, of possessing ill but refusing to act upon it. They expose the spiritual bankruptcy of those who corrupt the divine word for worldly gain, and the delusion of those who believe that a claim of lineage is a substitute for sincere faith and righteous deeds. The true path, as revealed in the covenant, is a perfect balance of devotion to Allah and compassion for His creation. This is the essence of a life lived in accordance with our Ruh. Join me in our next session as we delve deeper into this magnificent surah. Until then, may Allah bless you with ilman and yakin. Assalamu alaikum.